All right, we are recording. Welcome to part 2 of our Lunch and Learn with rising stars in the Beachbody Network. We've got some amazing women who have graciously agreed to share their time, their knowledge, their experience with us today. And these women are kind of our newer, that's why we're calling them rising stars. They're our newer leaders emerging in the network, the 2s, the 5-star diamond coaches who are really finding their groove and their rhythm in sort of this new world of Beachbody, and just loving the information that was shared in part 1. It was so valuable. We got so much amazing feedback on it, and we just didn't cover everything. So we had to do a part 2, and we are focusing today on 2 topics. And these 2 topics were the ones that we got the most feedback that people wanted to know more about. One is evergreen. It's a topic that people always want to know more about. And one is very timely right now, but will also be timely as we move into 2019. The first is social media, and the second is launching new products and programs. So social media, of course, is ongoing, evolving, always changing, crazy new world. Some folks are finding amazing traction on Instagram. Some folks are still finding traction on Facebook. Some folks might even be on YouTube. And who knows in 2019 or 2020 what new additional platform there will be. But best practices are best practices, and learning how to navigate social media, some of the best tips and strategies, and how these women have navigated social media to find some traction. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And then, of course, if you weren't on the National Wake Up Call with Shaun T, I don't know where you were, because, oh my gosh, if you were not excited about Transform 20, I hope you're even more excited about it. Is he just not the most fun trainer? Just so much fun. And I hope you watched all the way to the end, where he really gets in very close to the camera and asks you if you're going to do the work. It's a little bit freaky, and it's so awesome, and only he could probably do that and get away with it. So we're following Shaun T a little bit with this offering to the network as well. But launching a program is, of course, timely for tomorrow, but we will constantly have new programs and products, and the coaches that are sharing today have been through it, and they're going to share some of their best tips and practices. So what they're doing is kind of a roundtable. Just as I go down the list, they're going to share their tips and strategies and practices on these 2 topics. And they divvied themselves up into the 2 topics that they sort of want to speak on. Now, here's what I need you to understand. You might hear some of the same information more than once. That's okay. That means probably it works. And if you're hearing something over and over and over again, and you're still not doing it, that's on you. So I told these ladies that were sharing, I'm like, do not be afraid. If you are saying some of the same tips and strategies and how you implement whatever it might be, if you're saying the same thing that you feel like someone else is saying, or you feel like a broken record, good, because this business is not hard. We tend to overcomplicate it. It's not hard. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's not hard. And sometimes we just need to hear this information over and over and over again for the light bulb to go, oh, I'm supposed to put a filter on my Instagram pictures. Oh, my Instagram handle should be my name. Maybe I need to hear that multiple times to figure that out, and that's okay. So if you hear some of the same information over and over again, that means it's working. And you should probably put an asterisk by it and pay particular attention to it. Also, you might hear a ton of information today. Does that mean you need to go change everything in your business tomorrow? Absolutely not. It means just like when you go to super weekend event, you go to summit, and you hear all this stuff, you need to take notes and then take a minute and go, what can I implement tomorrow? What can I implement right now? What can I implement tomorrow? What could I maybe implement next week? What could I maybe implement next month? And feel no pressure to implement all of this information right now today. You're going to process it, take it in, and decide what works for you. So we're going to kick it off with the topic of social media, and then we'll segue into the launch. We've got a couple coaches who want to share their best practices on social media, what they've learned and what they are learning to help you get some traction on those particular platforms. I remind you that when they start talking, if you'll just hit speaker view, that'll make them nice and big. Take us out of the picture. Always keep that chat on too, so that if you've got any questions, drop them in there. And as the speakers are talking, they can glance over there, take a look at it. And then, of course, if I've got some questions that I think people are asking, or I need to dig a little deeper, then we'll get in there as well. So, Ashley, we're going to start with you, Ashley McClellan, and we're going to start with you talking about social media. Share your top 3 or 4 best practices and tips, what you've learned. I'm going to hit speaker view, and I'm going to hit mute. It's all yours, girl.
Okay. I'm going to go really fast. So number one, if someone does not want anything to do with Beachbody, why should they follow you? Because there are people out there who maybe they have a coach, but that coach is going to quit. Or they are loving CrossFit right now until they see you've got a 20-minute home workout that got you a six-pack. So you need to give people a reason to follow you, even if they don't want Beachbody, which means you need to be more than a coach and more than a mom. Because a stranger, I say this lovingly, they don't care about your kids. They may not care about your dog. So you've got to have a reason for why they should follow you. Another way to say this is 6 months from now, why is someone's life better? Because they followed you. Why are you making someone else's life better? And I ask myself that every single day before I post. Does someone who does not care about Beachbody, I may be sharing a picture of my family and we went and did some Christmas thing, but I'm going to throw in something that's going to inspire people even if they don't care what my kids look like. Or I'm going to throw in something about my workout that even if they don't care about Beachbody, that they can utilize, or a tip, or a motivational quote, something that will inspire them. And then I go, my thing that I'm like, I want people, if they spend 6 months with me, their life will be better in terms of changing their inner voice. I'm very open about evicting your inner mean girl. That's my thing. And so I do a lot of that if someone spends time with me, they're going to work on their mean girl. And if they watch my stories, if they look at my posts, they're going to work on their mean girl, because that's what I'm doing and that's what I talk about. So give them a reason to follow you, because that keeps your story engagement high. That keeps your likes high. That keeps your followers growing. That keeps people engaged with you long term. Number two, I made a stories checklist, and the new Success Club system tracker has this basically built into it. But I ask myself every single day, did I share about the things that are important to me? And I made a bullet list of 10 things that I want to remember to post in my stories every day. So I want to post that I got ready, because I'm not the mom who stays in their sweats all day and is still nice and happy. If I'm in my sweats at the end of the day, I was yelling at my kids. So I need to get ready. So I needed to post somewhere in my stories that I got ready and that I got dressed, and maybe like a hair and makeup, lip gloss, whatever that I'm loving. I need to post my workout. I need to post my food. I need to post my Shakeology, Energize, Recover bar, some sort of supplement to show that I use them every day, but I also eat, so I need to show my food. I post in there somewhere about being a coach. If it's that I'm doing my power hour, if it's that I'm taking applications, if it's something I got to do because of freedom of schedule, if I bought something with my discount, whatever. I sprinkle, if I did a team call, the national wake up call, whatever, I sprinkle in there somewhere that I'm a coach. My marriage is super important to me. So I'll post something about if it's date night, or when Jake gets home, or he's somewhere in my stories. I post about my kids. And then I have leftover super bad depression. So I don't like to go outside. I'm a homebody. I could stay in my house and be totally content, except my kids hate that. So then I really couldn't be content because I want to kill them when we get cabin fever. So I post in my stories when we leave, even if we're going to the car wash, if I'm going to pick up groceries, if I'm going to the park, if we're going to a movie, whatever, I post in my stories that I left my house, so that I show people I don't just sit in front of my computer all day and work, that I can fit this into a very busy life as a mom. And then I'm majorly pro Miracle Morning. So I always timestamp my stories in the morning with what time I woke up, so that people can see, holy crap, she's consistent. And if she's consistent for herself, she can help me be consistent too. So people trust me because I'm freaking consistent. So I post, that's like my bullet points that I do, this is my third tip. I audit myself every day. That I go back and look at my stories and holy crap, my stories were boring today. No wonder people were exiting them. Or, you know what, my stories were funny because I put in music, or I like mixed it up between a boomerang and a picture and a video and a super zoom and whatever, that there were different angles and that people saw the progression of my day and they saw my real life. And then I audit my news feed. Am I doing too many side-by-sides? Am I doing too many pictures of my kids? Have I not showed my kids? Do people not know I have a dog because I haven't posted my dog in 10 stories? Do people forget that I'm married because I haven't posted my husband? Have I not done a workout video? Have I gone way too crazy with Beachbody because of Transform 20 and I need to talk about something else? Like, I audit my feed so that I'm my own, okay, awesome, you are nailing it at talking about your results. girlfriend, you got to talk about Shakeology. And that's why people are pushing back when you talk about challenge packs, because they don't see the importance of Shakeology because they never see you post about it. So I audit myself. I go back and look through my feed and I figure out what I'm doing right that I should keep doing and what I'm noticing isn't super present in my feed, so I can make sure and bring that back so that people see all the angles of me that I want them to see, because social media is our storefront and we get to choose what we put on display, and no one is perfect at putting everything on display. We all get a little too heavy in certain areas, and that audit helps me make sure I'm putting the right things on display. So.
Okay, that was brilliant. I'm going to ask you if you will please put that little checklist in the chat, and then we'll save the chat, and that way people can maybe take a screenshot of it too. And what I love about one thing that I wrote down that you said, because you talked about if people want nothing to do with Beachbody, why would they follow you? Because busy is busy. It doesn't matter whether it's busy with kids, busy with a full-time, job outside your home, busy caring for an aging parent, busy planning a wedding. Busy is busy. And so the more you connect that for people, that it doesn't matter how the busy looks in your life, it just is your life, then they understand what you have to offer to them. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And what a brilliant idea to be. I do watch my stories too, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that was funny, or oh, that was dumb. And if you need really good auditors, you need teenagers in your house because they're brutally honest. And one of the tips I got from my daughter, Ashley, you can tell me if you use this as well, is she told me a while ago that I was doing too many just photos, that I needed to be doing more videos. And even if that means having to do it more than once, like sometimes do you watch people ever do it and then they post it and you're like, girl, like you could have done that again just because you did it, you didn't actually have to post that one. And sometimes I got to do a video more than one time. But I thought that was a really good tip from someone who's grown up with social media. What do you do?
Well, and I was just going to say, especially like how you ask your daughter, I ask my sister. I have a sister who is 20, I think, and I ask her regularly, go look at my stories and I want you to tell me like what is boring, what isn't. And I used to be the person who, especially during 80 day, when you're doing an hour-long workout, I would post 5 to 6 workout moves. And she came back and was like, dude, I started skipping through them. I want to see 2 and I want music to it. I don't want to hear Autumn's voice. I want music or speed it up or something, but I don't want to see 10. And so it made me cut down on mine. Yes. My views went up. Not everybody's market is that way. Some people do want to show that many moves. You figure out your market. But for me, my sister is my auditor. She's not a coach. She's not someone who's been a coach. She's not familiar with the programs or the products. And so it helps get like a completely outside perspective because she's not a coach.
That's brilliant. So asking someone else, we can even add that as a 4th tip with your auditing yourself, but also ask someone else to take a look at it. And do they find it interesting? And just going back and watching it yourself and seeing if you find it interesting is also good, because if you are not interested in you, no one else is going to be interested in you. So thank you for dropping that Google Sheet in there. I see that. So we'll make sure that we save that chat. Awesome job, Ashley. That was fantastic. Stephanie, you are up. So Stephanie, if you will come on and share your tips with you. I don't even know where you are in this Brady bunch of people. So you got to start talking for us to.
Okay, I'm here.
There you go. You got to talk and then you pop up. So.
Okay, perfect. Ashley, that was awesome. I have to follow you. Oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, I have 3 tips. Okay. So the first one is be you. Beachbody is obviously freaking amazing, but if I go to your account and I can see in 2 seconds that you're a Beachbody coach, I'm not going to follow you, because if people are holding bottles of Shakeology or they have Beachbody coach written in there, like if it's like Team Beachbody coach Stephanie or whatever, that's not you. Like, we are not Beachbody. People fall in love with us, not Beachbody. So make sure and go back, like Ashley said, and audit your feed. And do you have Shakeology? Do you have Lift4 in the background every time you post a workout? Do you have your Energize posted in there every day, and it's all just sweaty selfies and not who you are as a person and how you can help others besides fitness? Okay, so that's kind of a huge tip, is that I every once in a while will post my Shakeology, but I never say the name. I never hashtag Shakeology. Like, be you and just let Beachbody be that vessel for you to help people. Okay. So that's my number one tip. Take out all Beachbody stuff that's on your profile when they check you out. Stories, again, if you haven't gotten on them, you need to get on them yesterday. I was super uncomfortable when I first started. I was mad that I had to switch from Snapchat to stories, but you guys, 90% of the people that I help every month are from my stories. And it is me showing me. It is not, sometimes when I scroll through coaches' stories, all I see is their Shakeology and their workout every day. Well, that's awesome, but who are you? Like, people go to stories I think there was something out that was like 70% of people on Instagram now, instead of scrolling through feeds, are actually watching stories. And that is huge because there's so many network marketing companies out there that are just crushing us with just buy this, like, in their feed. And we can stand away from that in showing who we are. So again, your kids, I show my crazy dog, like, that he throws up socks. I show that what the weather is like for me today. What is it like for you? I do polls, I do questions. Be you and engage people, because that's how they're going to trust you. They're not going to trust you if they go to your stories and it's Shakeology and workouts every single day. Okay. So get uncomfortable with talking to the camera. And that is a really good tip also, is mix it up. I try to never do 2 talking stories in a row, because then people we don't have the attention span. Humans do not have, we don't have it. And so they just scroll through. And then the other thing, consistency. I tell this to my coaches all the time. I opened my page on Facebook in March 2016, and I have not, that's a double negative, I know, posted on there one day. Like, I've been just showing up in some way, shape, or form one day, or every single day. Even if I'm struggling, even if I'm going through a family death, even if, whatever it is, I show up and I show my struggles and I share them. And because of that, people that started following me back then are joining me, because they saw me never give up, and I show my struggles and lean in through it. So if you go missing for a couple days, you're kind of losing that trust, because when people reach out to us and ask for our help, it's because they know, or they believe that we're going to help them, right? We have this solution. And if we don't show up for ourselves to share that, then how the heck are we going to show up for them? So those are my tips. And
so let's dive into that a little bit, because I think a newer coach can interpret that as, well, but you're telling me, not you, the big you, social media is telling me, well, I have to post about my dog or something. But if I'm not posting about Beachbody, they won't know that and that none of that is the case. What we're saying is you have to show up on social media, period. And some of those posts are naturally going to be fitness. And some of those are probably naturally going to be nutrition. And some are naturally going to be, for you, your dog. And some are going to naturally maybe be another interest of yours. And some are going to be another interest of yours. The point is not that they're all fitness so that people don't forget about you. The point is that you are there always.
Right.
In front of them.
And it keeps the engagement up, and it keeps them, like people always say, what makes you you? So share that, and share one of those at least every single day, that you show up, because the people that join me become my best friends, and it's because they know who I am. They know who my kids are, and my journey if I'm going through something, they know it. And
when you think about your email inbox right now, I've been really working hard to hit unsubscribe a lot, because the emails that you get right now, they're showing up in front of your face. So if I'm needing something, guess what email is in my inbox? Nordstrom, every single day. So it's like, we want to be Nordstrom. We want to be Pottery Barn. We want to be these emails that keep showing up in our inboxes every single day, because then when we're ready to purchase, well, Nordstrom showed up in my inbox every single day. So where am I going to go? I'm probably going to go there. That's the first place I'm going to look. So if we can be that for people, then you will be that person that they come to. And it was funny when you were talking about your Facebook. I pulled up a memory that I had today. So I'm going to show you guys this. And if you laugh, you're dead to me. But no, we can all laugh about it because it's so bad. Can you see this picture? I know I got my ring light behind me for better light. Can you see this horrendous picture? I know it's horrendous. 4 years ago, I was doing Insanity Max 30. If I go back on Facebook, I can find pictures from 2009. Like, that's how long I've been posting. So I've got this horrific picture but if someone's been following me for 4 years, not only have they seen me cut my hair, thank God, but they've also seen that I've been showing up like you, Stephanie, for all this time. I just keep showing up. And there I am in my basement with the TV behind me, still showing up. My pictures are a little bit better now, but the point is we're still showing up. So
and the other thing too, really quick, is that when I started showing up and I decided to make this business a non-negotiable, because for me, it was my key out of financial trouble and out of the job that really was sucking the life out of me. When I decided that day that I was going to show up, I had several months where nobody engaged. So because people aren't engaging, because you're not getting likes or comments, don't stop. They're watching. 70% of people that see your stuff do not engage.
Period. And that's such a great reminder. I just had a girl purchase a challenge pack. We used to live in Wisconsin years and years ago. I taught at the YMCA in Wisconsin. I haven't been back to Wisconsin for 13 years, plus years. I just had a girl, longtime friend, purchase a challenge pack from me last week. Why? Because for as long as she's known me, I just keep showing up doing fitness. I just keep showing up, talking about, and for the last 10 years, talking about Shakeology, talking about fitness, and here I just keep showing up. So when she was ready to do to add something else to her life, and her kids are they're a little bit older, they're graduate, her last one's going to leave from home this year. She's like, well, maybe I'll do this. And now she's in my challenge group. 13 years after I met her. So there's such power in what Stephanie said in that consistency, because we just never know when they might come back to us. But if we go away, they're going to find somebody else. So the fact that Stephanie keeps showing up every day on Facebook, on Instagram, that person's going to come find her because they know she's going to continue to show up. So that's awesome. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Amber Humphreys, you're our last one on social media. And if you talk, then it'll come up on speaker view. So
got it. Hey, so much great stuff. I'm like pushing aside my limiting beliefs of like, what am I talking about? It's fine. So a lot of this obviously you've heard, but here we go. This is me. So most of my market has moved to Instagram. I think like most everybody else's, because Facebook is just like, so crowded and so much. And so the first thing, Instagram is a graphic. It's a visual platform, and so few people pay attention to the quality of their pictures because they think they're not a photographer, they're not that good with graphics or whatever, but it's a visual platform. So it is your job to get better at the platform that you've chosen to use. So there are so many little courses that you can take, light, things on editing. There are filters for days. Like there's an app for that. Like there are so many, like if you have the iPhone, 10 or higher, they've got like the little studio lighting. If you're like really struggling with lighting, the ring light was one of the best investments I ever made. But the year before that, I had one of those like little $10 ones that clip onto your phone. And that's what I used. And windows, everybody has a window. Those are free. Get outside. So really think about how it's going to look and how it's going to look overall, and pick a consistent look. Don't just like pick a filter every time you do it. Take one thing so that you have like a visual voice, because that picture is what's going to grab people more than anything. Kind of on the same thing, my second tip was do not post stock photos, like pictures or like your bag of Shakeology. No one cares. No one cares. No one knows what it is. No one cares. Your bag is not going to make me stop at all. Like you know, laughing with a cup, like running because you have energy, or like you're running out the door in the car, you know, you're in the car taking your kids to school with your cup, like, I'm glad we got breakfast, or whatever it is. Like, those are the things that actually mean something, and are what are going to set you apart. And like, people followed you. They did not follow the Shakeology Instagram. If they want to see Shakeology, they'll follow that Instagram. They want to follow you. And this is just a part of this is a part of you and a part of your life. And that's what you're sharing. You're not sharing about the products. You're sharing about your life. And because they can find information on the products anywhere. So what they don't know is how that fits into your life. And that's what's going to relate to people. That's what's going to draw them in. And kind of my last sort of tip on that is being authentic versus being a Debbie Downer. Nobody wants to follow a struggle. Nobody wants to follow a hot mess. Like, I've never looked at a hot mess and been like, I wonder if I can be a hot mess too. Like, I know I'm a hot mess. We're all a hot mess. If you have kids, that like automatically qualifies you. Like, everybody is like, you know, we're all just like trying to adult really hard, and it's hard, and we're like, how are we in charge? Like, and so what they want to know is how you did it, how you got better at it, how you fit these things into your life. And I'm not saying you can't like fall off the wagon a little bit and put on a few pounds. Like, hell, that was the story of my life. Like, I am not like, you know, I do not have Julie's arms. Like, they're very floofy. Like, it's, you know, they've got a mind of their own, and like, that's just what it is. Like, that's me. But showing that I can still gain muscle, that I can still like, man, like, it's been hard. I'm glad I have these tools to get back on track, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, there is a difference in being authentic and being a Debbie Downer, you know? So being something and offering a solution to your struggle, not just, that's what being authentic is on social media, not just I'm struggling, but man, I've struggled and here's the solution for me getting out of it. Here's how I'm getting out of it. Here's how my community is helping me. Here's how my shake is helping me. Here's how Energize is helping me get my house clean today, because Lord knows, like, I have not done laundry, and you know, that kind of thing. So that's that. Good genetics, my butt. I've seen you in the videos, Julie Voorhees, eating good genetics. So yeah, that's kind of like my social media top tips.
So do you also use video more than you use photo? Are you on Instagram stories using video more?
Oh my gosh. I am on video. I story a lot. If I realized I hadn't storied much, so I like threw up a couple quick photos today, but because it's been kind of a nutty week and we're in the middle of selling our house, so I'm just a little of like, you know, but I use video a lot because that's where, you know, your feed is kind of your storefront, you know, that's your, but like, people really get to know you in your stories. That's where they connect with your personality. And you know, somebody said people are watching stories more than they're, you know, looking at feeds. And that's so true. I kind of heard the statistic that people are watching, not really a statistic, but a factoid, people are watching Instagram stories like they used to watch TV. Like, when you're doing nothing, like if you're sitting in the doctor's office, you don't watch the TV up there. You just like watch your stories.
True.
Or if you're cleaning, or, you know, whatever that is. And so your stories, I can't remember, I think it was Ashley who said most of their stuff is coming from their stories, most of their business. And it's true, because people aren't buying products when they're buying, you know, our things, they're buying you. And so that's where they find you. So, Steph said that. Yeah. Okay.
So I went to, I think I talked about this before on our first call. I went to the Business Boutique with Christy Wright. And I think it was there that I heard, or I feel like maybe she said it on one of her podcasts or something, when you talked about don't post your bag of Shakeology. You know, she was talking about show your products in use. So like you said, it's, you know, maybe it's Energized while I'm getting ready to work out, or it's because, again, people don't care about the product. They care about how it's going to make their life better. So how can we show the product in use? But that's where the video comes in, I think. And I know that I have not always done a good job of this as you evolve as a coach and with social media, connecting the dots, because I'm assuming that if I'm drinking Energized and then I'm working out, everyone else out there is going, oh, well, the Energized helps her work out. And I realized actually humans don't we all don't connect the dots very well sometimes. Like we need people to do that for us in different areas of our lives. And so as a coach on social media, we have to literally articulate and say, this yellow magicness helps me work out.
Yeah. Drink this, make body go.
Yes.
Yeah, you really have to dumb it down much more than you think. And like people who, like if you think about any, like the influencer culture that we're in, people want to see things used. That's why companies send out their makeup, so you can try it and show what it's used. Or if you follow Carly Jean, the clothing, it's like they'll post stuff all the time, but it's really in their stories that like she'll show you how it feels. She's always like, oh, it's just so buttery. This fabric is so buttery soft. And like, you can wear it with this and with this. And I'm like, I do need a 400th cardigan, Carly Jean. I don't have enough. And it's because she's showing you how she uses it, how it could make your life better, like how great it feels. And it wasn't necessarily the picture of it in the feed that kind of like piqued my interest, but what sells me every friggin' time is when she talks about it in the stories.
Mm-hmm. And if you, not to mention Nordstrom again, because clearly I have an issue with Nordstrom, but if you go to Nordstrom and you click on a product, this isn't for all products, but I've noticed this recently. So let's say I click on a sweater and I'm looking at the sweater and then there's 3 pictures of it in different forms. The 4th one is a video.
That is so good. Because every time you want to see how it fits on their body, because you're like, her body's kind of like mine.
Right. There's a video and there's a person from Nordstrom talking about it. And I'm like, this is brilliant. So they've taken Instagram story to their website. So as business owners paying attention to that, we should be noting then video is key. Video is key. So we might not have a website that we're doing, but we do. It's called Instagram or whatever, YouTube or whatever else you might want to do. We do have that capability now and ours is free. So why not be using it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yay. Okay. We are going to switch to product launch because we got a big one tomorrow. So Logan, will you come on please and share with us your tips and strategies for a product launch?
Yes, I am here. Okay. So this launch is a little unique for me, like being able to having gone through the test group and everything. So I just mentally feel a little bit more equipped to help my team. And I feel like in the past, whenever I have stumbled or struggled a little bit with helping my team launch something, it's because I've just felt intimidated by whatever the program is, and I just didn't know quite enough about it. So like when 80-Day Obsession came out last December, well, I was having a baby last December. So my mind was kind of there, but Time Nutrition was like a new concept that I didn't understand what it was yet. And like when Tubi Mindset came out, I was like, okay, I know that it's like a nutrition thing and you watch videos, but I don't quite understand how it works yet. And it was just like taking that time to be patient and become a student and learn whatever it is that I need to know, because we are so blessed that Beachbody goes above and beyond with training like everywhere to give us like all the tools that we need to effectively like launch these programs. And I'm going to be a dork and I'm going to quote Julie, but Julie, you told us on a mastermind one time, we were talking about helping new coaches and when they feel overwhelmed, and you said, you're not overwhelmed, it's just new. And giving yourself permission to just understand that it's new and to take the time to be a student and learn those details of what it is that you need to know. And honestly, you guys, the beauty about Transform 20 is that there's really no secret about the program. Like they're 20-minute workouts. The nutrition is simple. Like anybody and everybody can do this program and can get behind it. So, when it came to kind of preparing for the launch with my team, I didn't come up with this completely by myself. I have to give my friend Keisha credit because she was the one that kind of gave me the idea to break it down into chunks. So like thinking it in 3 different phases. So phase number 1 is going to be getting the team on board and committing that they are going to be doing the program themselves, because they're going to have a really hard time selling it if they are not like committed that they're going to go on the journey also. And using my own kind of experience and sharing with them, because, you know, there were a few girls that were like, well, I just didn't know if I was going to do it because I just really don't enjoy cardio. I just didn't know if this was going to be my program. And I said, oh, sister, when I sat at Summit and they announced that the new program coming out was going to be Shaun T and the crowd is going wild, I'm like clapping and excited and like slowly sinking down into my chair, because as much as I love Shaun T, his style of workouts is like the farthest outside of my comfort zone ever. And just being able to go through the test group and know that, like, even though I don't love cardio, like I can do 20 minutes. And sometimes it's taking that extra like leap outside of our comfort zone, outside of our warm, comfy bed, that really gets you the results that you're looking for. And that's what I found with Transform 20 and the results that I got going through it. So just knowing that you don't know until you try, and it's 6 weeks, it's 20 minutes a day. Like, you can do this and you can do hard things, and we're all going to be committed and do it together. It's just going to be a non-negotiable. It was a little bossy, but I'm like, we're all doing this together and you have to be on board. And then, so phase number 2 is going to be getting our current existing like customer and client base engaged. Before we're worrying about all the new people, we are digging into like our customer lists and making sure, you know, all the people who have already trusted us and invested in us at one point or another, letting them know, like, this is the plan for the new year. We're so excited about it. And we want you to team up and really be our accountability buddies in 2019, and, you know, get all the people that are still like doing their workouts, but also try and re-engage those people that may have fallen off. And then the third phase is bringing in new prospects by inviting people that are engaging on your posts, watching your stories, those kind of things. So my team has really kind of been focused on, like, we did a team call for the team to make sure that they kind of knew like all the details of the program, what the plan was going to be as far as the launch. We're doing one of those like VIP info group people that they can add their prospects to it, so they don't have to worry about necessarily knowing all the information, because all the information is going to be there in the group. They just need to add people, but then take the time to tag them in like the appropriate posts and follow up. Like, we're very, very specific about the fact that you can't just plug them into the group and expect magic to happen, because the work then comes in, you know, your messages later on when you're following up. One of my incredible star diamonds, Leslie, created a social media posting schedule for how they can post on their social media for like, it's about like a 2-week long schedule with how they can tie in like the new program that's coming out, tying in a piece of their story to it, because that's what gets people is like, okay, you know, big deal that a new program is coming out, but what is it really going to do for you? Like, what is that 20 minutes going to do for you? How is that going to change your life? And so she came up with this beautiful social media guide that just helped the team feel empowered, because then they kind of had a direction of what they were going to be posting about. And then the last thing we did, that I try really hard not to reinvent the wheel. So when I would see other like amazing coaches sharing, you know, some of their launch guides and ideas and stuff, we just kind of compiled it into a team Google Doc that basically walks them through like A to Z, how to bring people in, how to reach out to their current customers, how to reach out to people watching their stories, basically gives them like a scripting guide of how to have conversations, because that's what freezes them up a lot of the times, is just not knowing what to say. And it's like, well, if you go back to the script document, just work from that, tweak it so it sounds like you, and then just don't be completely attached to the outcome, because that's not what we can necessarily control. But that was kind of our focus, and what helped me stay a little bit more focused is breaking it down kind of into those 3 phases of getting the team on board, getting the existing like customers and clients on board, and then obviously bringing in new people to the fun.
Well, the benefit to, you know, a Shaun T program is kind of the same as as maybe with Autumn or Tony, is that he's got this stable of other workouts. So the chances of someone being on your team who may have had an experience with another Shaun T program does give them a touch point to share in their social media. Maybe they did try Insanity and maybe they hated it back in the day and they can talk about that now. Or maybe they did T25 right after they had a baby and they loved it. So that is a huge leveraging point, that we have a trainer releasing a new workout that has a stable of programs that they probably have some sort of connection with, or they've seen him at Summit, or they've never tried something. That's also a touch point, that they've never tried a Shaun T program. So let me ask you this. Are you running right now any kind of team-wide challenge group, or is everyone sort of doing kind of their own thing and then you're coming together for a team-wide Transform 20 challenge group? How's that process look?
So we are using the hybrid calendar that Shaun T put out, and we are hyping it up like in our info group. And we've all kind of done, we have like several star diamonds in the team. So everyone was kind of doing their challenge group with their downline like through November. But then in December, we're all coming together to do the prep calendar that he put out together. And then we'll probably move into, we'll transition into a team-wide Transform 20.
So much more fun because there's so much more people and so much more energy. Okay, one other question about your info group, because I wrote that down. I think that's really brilliant. So you've just created a brand new Facebook group, and you are dropping in what? How's that?
Yes.
Is it open? Or is it an event? Tell me about that.
So it's a closed Facebook group, and we have it scheduled out like through the units. So like when someone goes to the page,
posts.
Yes, we're using the units, and the units are like the landing page when someone first goes to the group. So right at the beginning, the first thing they're going to see is the video of like what is Transform 20. And then we have right underneath that, we have an introduction post where there's like 3 or 4 questions asking like about their family, if they've ever done a Shaun T program, or if they're new to Beachbody. And that's kind of cool because watching people engage with each other on there, finding similarities of people that are in the group. And then we just kind of break it down into like what you can expect with the program, like what kind of equipment comes with it. What does the nutrition look like? We obviously have like a packages and like pricing unit where we talk about like what the available bundles are. We have a unit specifically that talks about the coaching opportunity and like the importance of being in the test group and the income potential and the discount, and like highlighting, the important things about coaching, because we are really, really putting emphasis on our team that they need to be signing their people up as coaches to get them into that test group with Shaun T, because there's just not, it's not going to be the same experience if they're not in the group with him.
That is just a brilliant idea, and I'm writing that down, stealing that, and I may or may not give you credit for it, Logan. I'm just telling you. That's really, really great. I love that so much. So it's a really great hub for people to go to get more information.
Yes, and we will just continue. We'll continue to add people there, like as they are interested, because, the launch doesn't just happen tomorrow. It's going to happen through all of December. It's going to happen through all of January. And so we're going to have this place where we can continue to plug people in so they can get, because I'm one of those people that I don't want to have a back and forth conversation for a week with someone. Like, give me the information so I can make my decision. And then how do I sign up? And I know that that's the kind of people that I attract to, because I'm a busy mom with a lot of little kids. I don't have time to just talk back and forth all day.
Yeah. Okay. That is brilliant. Loving that idea so much. Thank you, Logan. Marie, are you up and ready to share your launch strategies?
You betcha.
Yay. Hi, friends.
I feel so blessed. 2 times in 24 hours. I'm like, dang, me and Julie are BFFs now. Okay, so I'll go super quick here. I have the 3 C's for my launch strategy just because I like boxes and I like checklists, and 3 C's sounds nice. Any teachers up there? No? Former teacher. So number 1, when there's a new program or product launch, I develop competence around that program or product. If I can't speak about what it is that I'm trying to get other people to do how can I expect them to do that, right? So I develop competence around this, aka I educate myself via the FAQ. I go to the Celebrity Super Trainer Instagram and I look at their stories. Usually they have transformation photos. I Google transformation photos from said workout program. I look at the highlight reel on YouTube. I use the video. So I'll develop an education around whatever program or product it is. When we had 2B Mindset, did the exact same thing. When Lift 4 came out, did the exact same thing. So I developed competence around it. That's number one, so that I can lean in and be confident about it. That's the second C. So then I become more confident about what I'm sharing about this program in my social media posts. I can talk confidently about this because I now have some understanding and education around the program or product. Me having done my education on it and really read up on it and watched the videos, etc., helps me to put myself in a position and really visualize myself doing the program. And I can't share about it confidently if I don't plan on doing it myself. So I guess that would be part of my 3 C's here is if you're not planning on doing it yourself, don't expect people to also want to jump in, right? You can't say, do this and stand up on this pedestal if you're not also in the trenches being like, oh my God, we're doing this together. This is great. Let's go. Right? So really link arms with people instead of standing on that soapbox and pointing a finger, trying to delegate. So I get competent around the program or product. I get confident about the program or product, and I start to visualize how this can affect my life positively. I can already see now that, okay, January 14th, I have a little condo gym. I'm going to get a step from my program pack. I'm going to take the little step, my 20 steps over to the condo gym, and there's mirrors there, and it's going to be a new space for me to videotape on my Instagram stories and that kind of thing. And I can already feel myself getting excited about this program. So because I'm getting excited about it, then I can share with that excitement, and people feel energy, right? Energy doesn't lie. So that's number 2. Number 3, actually what Logan just talked about is we create, my number 3C is collaborative. Okay. So I get competent, I get confident, and then I get collaborative. I create a hype group, I call it, or an info group, very similarly to what Logan just said, but it's, instead of using the unit section, which I think is very smart, by the way, I just wrote that down. Instead of using the units, what we do is we'll create a document for each thing. So I have a document that I just literally copy and paste into that new hype group about Shakeology. I've got a document about the performance stack. I've got a document about 2B Mindset. I've got a document about whatever program's coming out, document about challenge groups, document about coaching. I think that's it. Yeah. And so we share everything in those documents, and then we'll do a welcome post. And this one is really key for our info groups. The welcome post is pinned, and it has 5 different questions. And the questions are like, who are you? Where you're from? What's your story with Beachbody? What's your experience? People share transformation photos in their stories with Shakeology and the programs in the comments below. And because it's pinned, new people can come in and creep those comments. And then they get more of a sense of, oh, this stuff works. Oh, there's more people who do this. This is amazing. So that's one way that we create extra excitement around it. And then the collaborative piece means that it's not just me, right? So I link arms with my success partners. I link arms with coaches on my team, Diamond and Star Diamond coaches, who want to also run with this, and we'll host the group together. So I bring up 2B Mindset because that's one of my favorite examples. And Lift 4, we did the same thing. But when 2B Mindset launched, we had a Facebook group called #GirlsThatEat, and there was like 380 of us doing the program together. 380. Like, that's a huge market for us to have gone through the whole summer doing 2B Mindset. And then we sprinkled and posted. Everybody took a week or whatever. So we shared the load, and that was really key. You share the responsibilities, and then because there's more people, like Julie, you had mentioned, you create that energy and you create positive tension. So people do make a decision. They don't want to get left out. So those are my 3 C's. I develop competence around the program or product. I develop confidence around it because of that education. And then I get collaborative with my team, and I share that on social media, and I share why it will work for me. One of my favorite quotes, and something I think about when I'm sharing about something on social media that I'm unsure about, is your imperfections make you human and your humanity makes you influential. And so I think about that all the time. I'm like, okay, how can this benefit me? What's my struggle and what's my solution? And this is a solution because of ABC struggle.
You're so great. I just really enjoy listening to you so much. You're so clear and hear your bullet points. And I love so much that your 3rd C is that collaborative piece. I feel like, and I don't know if it's like this on all teams or if it's because we're kind of a female network, but there has been this shift in culture across the board for a while that women have to do it all. We have to do it all, and we have to do it all really well, and we have to look like the Victoria's Secret models that I watched last night on the runway while we're doing it. We got to do it all, know it all, be it all, whatever. And it didn't used to be like that. Women used to be very strong in the tribe, and for whatever reason, we got away from that, thought we had to do it all. And I feel that shift coming back where we are linking arms. And I've tried to encourage that in our team, and I feel that you do that as well. And I feel like the more we do, this call is a perfect example of it, but if we would just link arms within our teams, within multiple teams, and work together, the energy, the inspiration, the information, the accountability, all of that soars through the roof, and it's just so much more fun. And the business can be hard, you hear a lot of no's, and it can be draining sometimes, and you're constantly trying to fill others' buckets, sometimes without doing an adequate job of filling your own. And when you can collaborate and work with others, I just feel like, because we're doing a collaborative prep Transform 20 group right now, it's like, oh, thank goodness, because it's just so much more fun, to see all that energy in there. So I'm so thankful that you really hit on that. And I assume that you've got leaders that step up and say, yep, I want to do this with you. Kind of how do you divvy that up a little bit?
Yeah, everybody volunteers. And just to touch on something you just said, the reason why this call and things like this are so powerful is because it's collaborative instead of competitive. And people get competitive when they are in scarcity mindset. And so all of us on this call have an abundance mindset, clearly, because we're here learning from each other. Like last night, I spoke with Julie Boris on her call, and she was like, I wrote pages of notes. And I got off that call and I was like, how the hell did Julie Boris take notes for me? Like, how? I don't know. But that's the thing, that we're all open-minded and have an abundance mindset, and the people that I bring into my team have that as well. So when I say, hey, I think we should do this, what do you guys think? And what are your ideas? We get collaborative about it, and it empowers them to step into a role as a leader on the team, which helps them stay accountable and show up more than they otherwise would too. So it all works together.
It does. And aren't you looking at some of those coaches, because we all have the coaches, they're like, no, I'll do my own thing. Are you looking at them going, why? What are you doing? That's so dumb.
Yeah, every day.
We are going to finish with Ellie. Ellie, are you on here? We will wrap it up with you. We'll try to wrap it up. Ellie, I know you talk quickly, so we're going to wrap it up in like 5 minutes, girl. If you can share with us some of your top tips for this launch, that with your amazing accent, that would be fantastic.
Thanks, Julie. Okay, so we had a lot of on how we run that group, and mine is actually just the same as Logan's. The only difference is our units are disabled comments. So whereas everybody throw this big get-together party, we hate that so much. Like that whole kumbaya, my lord, we're going to get together and be like a big group of people. We hate that. Like, we hate it. We're not into that. None of my team is. We are get it in, get it done, check in, and get out. I don't care about your grandmother. But we're into fitness and help people. So how we do it, especially for a 6-week launch, like, you guys, this is a marathon. You can't rah people for 6 weeks. Like, no amount of hybrid calendars are going to keep the energy in there, and people that are waiting to buy will lose the momentum and not buy. It's far more effective to give them the tools and instruct coaches to be really strong in follow-up, one-on-one, and back it up with social media, and have those people transition that hope like a band camp would work. But what we do is, because I know how powerful that kind of collaboration is, that like excitement of getting it is, when you click on the info group, you go straight into the units, no comments. You can't do anything. You can just love it. You can just click love. And it works you through from the actual like video of what it is from YouTube to like, all, but like, don't link to YouTube for the love of God. Like, don't do that. But like, it's downloaded into the group to like what it comes with, what you can expect from the program, what kind of body types, from transformations, all those things in the units. And then they also can't comment in the newsfeed because that's disabled too. It's like the land of the dead. And so that's really a landing page that our team is adding the people to right now. But in the feed, when we start purchasing, we start taking turns going live, and they can comment on those. Now, the big benefit to that is 6 months down the road, when a new coach has someone who Transform 20 would be amazing for and adds them to that landing page, there isn't 45 comments from 16 weeks ago and nothing since. So that becomes a library that's good for like the rest of eternity, because the program there's no comments. It's just, here it is, get the information. And then what we teach really heavily is follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Because that's really where they're going to sell it. Anyway, I hate FOMO. I hate the ring the bell when you buy your challenge pack. It makes me want to quit coaching, that kind of thing. I don't like that. Our emphasis is always do it on your time, commit when you're ready, except we're all ready and doing it right now. So maybe something's wrong with you if you're not. So that's positive FOMO. That's saying do it because we are going to do it and our energy is going to do it, not because like we're all buying it right now. Right? Like I don't want them to buy it and not do it. So the one thing I do want to touch on real quick. So however you run that group, it's the follow-up, not the group that's going to do it. I've told every single coach of mine, if you're using this business as a business, your job is to promote every single product and every single program that this company comes out with. Like, I know we all love this whole, I'm branding myself. Yeah, okay, but like you have nothing to give to people outside of Beachbody in a physical form. Right? Like there are a lot of life coaches out there doing nothing with their lives. We've got something to give people. So you have to commit to every consumable that comes out unless you're like deathly intolerant. And even then, like get a test done again. Maybe you changed. And then you got to do every program. And that's just it. That's just it. You got to do it. And you can be honest about how much something sucks. My team doesn't dance, but we have like big dance parties. It's the country heat and people love it because we look like idiots and it's funny and we laugh about it, but we're fit idiots. So that works. So you've got to get them to do it. They got to get the step. I'm sorry, the step's expensive. If you're a working coach, you have to get the step. The people watching you will see you on the step. They'll ask what you're doing. You're going to send them the Shanti video, and he's on the same step. That's going to tie you together. You have no excuses. You got to get the right step. Then you can tell them, oh, you know what? Does it look expensive? Yeah, I know. I'm on a budget too. You know what you can do? You can get the challenge pack without the step if you have an alternative at home. And now they feel like, I just saved money. So instead of saying, I'm not getting Shakeology, I'm not getting the performance line to save money, they're saying, I'm not getting the step and I'm saving money. And then you're telling them, please don't buy a $7 step because you're going to murder yourself on it. And the only last thing I would touch on is the story that your team weaves on social media is more important than even the program itself. So from this moment, start telling your team your story on social media. I will, for the next 6 weeks, speak about my needs and what this program is going to do for me. And that is, I'm going to pull away from scrolling and I'm going to get into my tracker app. I'll be more unplugged. I'm going to spend 20 minutes of my day sweating as hard as I can so that I can live my life. I'm going to deal with my anxiety better than I did this year. And I'm going to help other women remember that watching other people live their fake lives on social media is nothing compared to living their real lives when they put anxiety down. That's my story. And that's the narrative my social media is going to carry for 6 weeks. I'm going to guarantee you the women drawn to that don't care what program I'm doing. They can like ask me what I'm doing and I'll be like, oh, it's a hybrid of Body Beast with like hammer. And then we're going to take like 6 tubs of creatine. And they'll be like, that sounds like a terrible thing, but I'm going to do it because like this is the thing I want the results of. So urge your teams to get the step to do this program, on Beachbody schedule, not their schedule, to start it with everybody. It's thousands of dollars in momentum generated, and you're just stupid to step out of that stream and be like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm starting 80-day obsession right now. So that's not how you run a business. And then they need to figure out the story on their narrative so that the follow-ups don't fall flat, because Shanti is not going to sell this. Their story will. That's all I got.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was writing down that little piece there, the follow the Beachbody rhythm, because I have coaches who are, well, I'm going to do a 3-day refresh and I'm going to start. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like the same, it's the people that are also running their own challenge group. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? There is a reason why this business has a first name, Team. That's the first name, Team Beachbody. So the more we align with corporate calendar, the more we are collaborative, the more we work together and go with that flow, the more success we all see. Rising tides lift all ships. So as we all start to see more success, we all start to see more success. And it's not that you have to go with the flow like a lemming. It's just, why would you get out of that rhythm when corporate has they've kind of got a helicopter view, and they can see the patterns more long-term than we can. So if they're determining that this is the rhythm, it's because I don't know if this is a newsflash, but corporate actually wants us all to be very successful, really, really, really successful. So when they've got this rhythm going, it's because they've seen these patterns, that this is the rhythm that sort of makes sense. And for us to decide, well, actually, no, I know more than Carl Daikeler. I'm going to do my own thing. Like, when you say that out loud, don't you feel kind of dumb when you say that?
And you spend millions of dollars in marketing.
Yes.
And you're going to be like, I'll share this in 6 months when I start doing this program.
Yes. And I'm like, well, who ever thinks I know more than Carl Daikeler? Like, what? So I am so glad that you talked about that. And I'm writing that down as a reminder as well. So, okay, you guys can hit unspeaker view. You can go to gallery view. We'll just wrap up really quick. We're 2 minutes over, but you were amazing. And I thought this info was just so, so, so great. And if you loved it and you found it valuable, make sure you go to those speakers, their Instagrams or Facebooks or whatever, and give them a thank you, because people are just generously sharing their time and their knowledge with us so that we can all be better. So I just really appreciate all our speakers. I appreciate everyone who gets on and shares. I appreciate you guys showing up, because you showing up is a real powerful statement to what you want to do with this business in your lives. It's a powerful statement to your teams. It's a powerful statement to the network. More importantly, it's a powerful statement to your families, that you've said, I'm going to do something with this business, and here you are learning so that you can. So that is a powerful statement to you and to your families. You are keeping a promise that you said that you're going to do something with this business. You are keeping that promise by showing up on this call today. Thank you so much. As soon as I get it downloaded to YouTube, I will drop it in the roundtable. And I will also give it to the coaches who spoke today. And then hopefully that'll kind of get it, but it'll be on my YouTube channel as well. So that'll hopefully get it disseminated out to anyone. And then just share it with your teams and enjoy. And thank you so much for being on. Have a great launch day tomorrow. And if you're up at 4 a.m., tag me, because I'll probably will be too. So have a great day.